So, welcome again to the Yoga Podcast. My name is Malou and I'm here with Shiva. And today we'll talk a little bit more about what's probably one of the more popular yoga texts, or at least of modern yoga, the Patanjali Yoga Sutras. So, first of all, what are your thoughts on the Yoga Sutras? It's a big question, but
Yeah. So uh, basically, before sage Patanjali, Maharishi Patanjali, which means the great sage Patanjali, um, is said to be the father of modern yoga. But he still wrote the text like thousands of years ago,
yeah.
right? But still, he is known as the father of modern yoga. We need to understand why. Because until Patanjali's era, until Maharishi Patanjali's era, the yoga was as a secret knowledge from guru to disciple, guru to disciple, guru to disciple, guru to disciple.
Mm.
There was no written text properly on yoga. Patanjali, through his experiences, through the guidance of different gurus, he realized that this knowledge should be accessible for all the people,
Mm.
not just this guru to disciple pratha.
Yeah.
He felt that if it is accessible to all the people, it will be for the welfare of the society.
Mm.
And anyone who gets attracted to it can have his own version of yoga, what they perceive out of the text.
Mm.
So he compiled all the knowledge from different gurus and wrote one of the first text about yoga philosophy. There's no asana mentioned.
Mm.
There is a definition of asana mentioned, but mainly it's the philosophy of yoga. And that's why he is considered as the father of modern yoga. And to me, in my life personally, since I started reading Patanjali Yoga Sutras, every time I read it, it gives me some new information.
Mm.
And this is the magical part about sutras or shlokas in different texts. Whenever we read it again, our level of understanding and knowledge increases.
Mm.
And we get something new out of it. So I've read Patanjali Yoga Sutras many times, especially some topics which I really like. And every time it blows up my mind, it gives me a new piece of information. It gives me new understanding about certain topics. And I love it. I love it. It has really changed a lot in me, in my life personally. It has given me a lot, which I can only pay gratitude to
Yeah.
Maharishi Patanjali for compiling all this knowledge and writing this book.
Mm. And I guess there's so many different ways that it's interpreted as well. Are there any like translations or anything you go to? Or
Um, so what I believe is the commentaries on Patanjali Yoga Sutra should come from the people who really know Sanskrit.
Mm.
Otherwise, people are writing commentary on a commentary.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's better to have the direct commentary from Sanskrit. But still, as I said earlier, Sanskrit is a language in sutras and shlokas. Sutras and shlokas are like mathematic equations which you need to solve.
Mm.
It's like problem solving. So anyway, when a person reads shlokas or sutras from Patanjali Yoga Sutra, it actually, according to his or her level of understanding, they will still get something out of it.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what I really liked about Patanjali. I, of course, first studied it through like a teacher training, and then I did another course in it. And that second time, it was a completely different thing to me because
Exactly.
somehow I was a different part in life. Different things make more sense, and yeah, it's really interesting. I don't think you can ever read it too often. It's one of those.
Exactly. I
Yeah.
think it's like once in a time kind of text.
Mm.
Then you can reflect very well what is going on.
Mm.
But also, what I used to do, I used to save it as wallpapers on my phone screen,
Oh, yeah.
like the main topics
Yeah.
which I really loved. and stuff like that to keep me reminding about that.
Yeah.
At one point, I was living in an ashram, and I put the whole wall was written with my favorite topics from Patanjali
Nice.
Yoga Sutra, and it was such a nice reminder, especially like the yamas and niyamas and kleshas and everything. I would write it down in front of me, and every morning when I wake up, I would take some few deep breaths and look at those points what Patanjali is mentioning, and it always blew up my mind.
Yeah. I have some on my fridge, magnets on my fridge, some sutras that I like.
That's amazing.
So, what would be like one of your favorite topics within the sutras?
So s- I will mention a few first. First is like the first few definitions, like the first one, Atha Yoga Anushasana. For me, it's like Patanjali is saying that if you're opening this book, now discipline is yoga. Now ruling your own self is yoga. If you don't have that, close that book. And at first, I didn't have that understanding. So I just read through it. But there was no implementation in my physical life. And then later, when I read it again, I realized, wow, he's already saying it. Like, now ruling your own self is yoga. Now discipline is yoga. If you can't do that, close this book. It takes some time to get to that realization. Or like the definitions he gave, Yogashita, Vitti, Nirodha, and all. So a lot to take from this particular book. But I think some of my favorite topics are the yamas and niyamas, pancha kleshas, um all of that, and also like siddhis, like the divine powers he mentioned, and what he talked about the stages of even liberation, stages of samadhi. That is also a beautiful chapter to go through. Yeah.
So, could we talk a bit more about the Pancha Kleshas?
Of course, yes, of course. Let's go with it.
Yes. So, I guess first of all, just a bit of a definition so people understand what it is.
Okay, so panchakleshas are like causes of sorrow. What are the causes of sorrow in a human life is panchakleshas. Now he has described it in 5 parts: asmita, avidya, raga, dvesha, abhinivesh. But to understand the causes of sorrow, first we need to understand what is sorrow, right? So in Sanskrit, we have a concept of sukha and dukha. Sukha means ease, sukha means comfort, sukha means peacefulness, but dukkha means pain, suffering, or unease, right? Which is actually referring to human distress, whether it is physical, emotional, or spiritual distress, right? So Patanjali is talking about the root cause of these sorrows, of this human distress, like why us humans we are having these sorrows, what makes us have these sorrows. So what he this is what he's talking about. So causes of sorrow is actually called klesha. So he has described 5 of them. So what are the 5 root causes of sorrow is panchaklesha.
Yeah. Shall we go into each one a little bit more specifically?
Of course. Yeah.
So, starting with avidya.
Yes. So avidya is ignorance or lack of knowledge. Right? So if someone is having a lack of knowledge about certain topic, that is ignorance, avidya, or ignorant about something like, oh yeah, I'll leave it. I don't care about that. Like that, don't care about that attitude is actually ignorance. Because basically ignoring something is also in Patanjali's view, or what I get to this understanding is escaping from something.
Yeah.
If you it's like judgment, right? So if we are judging something, first we have to really go deep into it, understand it, and then only we can judge it. If we are not having the open mind to judge it, not understand it, then we can't judge it. Yeah. So to understand first and then make a decision or judge something is knowledge. So lack of knowledge is avidya, right? So is actually like misunderstanding the reality, taking the impermanent as permanent, or like believing in material things or relationships can give them happiness. But actually, the opposite is swadhyaya, which means self inquiry, inquiring your own self, going deeper to understand each and everything. I give a very beautiful example. Is like my father said to me one time, behave like you are stupid. And he said, behave like you're stupid, only then you can understand the whole world. And then I was like, I didn't get it. But one day I was looking at a flower. If I would be ignorant to this flower, I would just look at it, oh, it's a flower, and move on. But if I really look into it, what color the flower is, how many petals this flower have, what is the texture of this flower, I get to know more. So I thought I'm stupid, trying to learn more about a flower, and I could learn more. So basically, ignorance is also, avidya is also like, I know everything already.
Maybe like a lack of curiosity.
Exactly. When we have more curiosity, we can be away from avidya, which is actually swadhyaya,
Yeah.
understanding your own self or understanding everything around us. Right? That is avidya.
Yes. All right. The next one.
Yes. Asmita.
Asmita.
Asmita. Asmita can be termed as false ego or false identification of the self.
Yeah.
For example, mistake in this is that the mind is the true self. Whatever I'm thinking is my true feeling. But feelings always change. But feelings are always changing. Sometimes I don't like this, but I like this. Na 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 na. It is always continuously transforming the feelings according to the situation in life, right? So false ego, I will explain you as example, having a understanding of yourself as someone, making your ego bigger than someone, and not realizing that we all are the same. Or let me give you an example about, for example, two people are talking, right? You and me are talking, and we are like very laughing, na 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 na. And we look at the third person, and then we continue our conversation and laughing. But what that third person is thinking, oh, they are talking about me. And they have started taking it on them own. But it's not the reality. We are just talking about something else.
Yeah.
But this third person is thinking that we are talking about him or her, and they are feeling, oh my God, they're talking about me. They're laughing on me. So taking things personal is also asmita.
Yeah.
It is creating a false ego, a false narrative. Who are you? So to counter asmita, the most important thing is I am the pure consciousness. What am I? Asking ourselves in meditation, who am I? Who am I? Who am I? And trying to find the answer. But you know the answer. You are the consciousness. We all are manifestation of energy in different ways, but we all are consciousness. We all are the same. So we can't be bigger or higher or lower or anything. We all the beings are same. And that's how we can counter asmita. What are your thoughts on that?
um, yeah, it's interesting. I think a lot of the time it's so easy also to identify with the body and to think that you are the body you're in, or the same thing with thoughts. I very much used to think that thoughts were something that came from within me, so it is me or something. But I feel more and more like thoughts just come and I don't know where they come from. But
the waves of the mind.
Yeah.
Vrittis of the mind.
But yeah, that's an interesting one, the identifying with it. Yeah.
Yes. So that, according to me, is asmita. And only way to counter is it. I am the pure consciousness. I am the real myself. But also understand. I will give you one very good story about it. Do you want to listen a story?
Yes, sure.
Okay. So basically, one time one man goes into an ashram.
Yeah.
And he asked the guru of the ashram, Guruji, 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 I want to attain liberation.
Mm.
I want to attain liberation. Give me a mantra. You are a guru. So Guruji says, look, it takes time. You need to practice. Whether it can happen in a second, whether it takes ages, but you keep on practicing. Tapas, 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 sadhana, sadhana, sadhana. And he said, no, 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 I know. You can give me a mantra. You can give me a mantra. Please give me a mantra. So Guruji gave him the best mantra. Guruji gave him Aham Brahmasami.
Mm.
I am the consciousness. I am the universe. Right? So he started saying, Aham Brahmasmi, Aham Brahmasmi. One day passed, 2 day passed, 3 day passed. Several days, months, years passed. He's continuous telling him, I'm Brahmasmi, I'm Brahmasmi. And one day he realized something. He went to the Guru and said, Guruji, I think the mantra has worked now. Aham Brahmasmi. I am the consciousness. Guruji was like, okay, well, very nice. You got this feeling now. Go outside today and bring vegetables for everyone so that we can cook a delicious dinner for celebrating that you have become one. So he said, okay, Guruji, I would do that. So he went out and he went to the market. In the market, one guy came to him and tell him, oh, there is a big elephant coming from behind. He's a wild elephant. He is always like hurting all the humans on the path. And he's like, what can elephant do to me? Aham Brahmasmi. I am the consciousness. So he walked more again forward. And then, and then the elephant struck him very hard, like bam. And then he's like, he came back to the ashram with all the vegetables, but completely broken body. So everyone in the ashram asked him, like, what happened? What happened? He told them the whole story. Guruji was also sitting there. Then Guruji said, you have not yet realized that Aham Brahmasmi, because the person who came to you telling about the elephant, that there is a wild elephant, he is also the consciousness. Why didn't you consider him as consciousness? So that was Asmita, that was false ego.
Yeah.
That I am higher than everyone now. I've become one with the universe.
That's a good one. Wow.
Right. So that for me is Asmita.
Yeah. I guess one thing though about the identification, we sort of have to take part in society. We sort of have to identify as I am this person. This is my name. This is my job. Because otherwise we can't really function.
Yeah.
So how do we find kind of an honest balance in that? I don't know.
I feel honest balance is first of all being in the present. That gives us the balance. Secondly, all the sages, all the gurus, all the gurumas, all of them take it as a play. They see it as a role which they are playing in the society.
Yeah, I see.
Right? One time, I will tell you another story. You want to listen?
Yeah, like stories.
So one time, one of my guruji told me, like, "Oh Shiva, do this something." I said, "Okay, Guruji, do it." So I did that. But one of my practitioners, fellow practitioner, he didn't do what he was asked to do, and then Guruji got angry on him. And I was very surprised and shocked. I have never seen him angry. How can he become angry suddenly? So I was curious, and my relationship with him was a disciple and a teacher. So I directly went to him in his office, in his room. I asked him, how could you get angry? He said, I was not angry. I was just playing the role to be angry. Because some people need to have that kind of teaching. It's all my teaching. It's all the teaching of my gurus. It's all the teaching of ancestors. Then I realized, yes, sometimes we have to play a role, but only taking it as playing that role is important instead of indulging our emotions in it. I could literally see his emotions were not involved in that. He didn't even get angry. He just raised his tone of the voice. But inside of him, he was not angry. So, taking it as a role, taking every day as a role, looking at your task as a role that you have to finish, and all this role is karma.
Mm.
So, in my understanding of raga is attachment to pleasurable experiences. Whatever gives us pleasure, that is raga, right?
Yeah.
So, it can be like two things. For example, if someone is too attached to something and when they don't get it, they get in stress.
Yeah.
They get in anxiousness. Oh, I don't have it. How will I live anymore? How will I do my task, this task without that? So, all of that is attachment. But in my opinion, how I perceive it from Patanjali Yoga Sutras is he's trying to say that balance your desires, balance your attachments to materialistic things, to pleasurable things, and try to find a balance which doesn't hurt you in a longer run. That is what he's saying about Vairagya. And Raga is attachment, Vairagya is detachment. Right? Now, this attachment can be to, for example, food, relationships, situations, for example, status. This is my position in corporate world.
Yeah.
When you lose your position or when someone else goes in front of you in that position, you feel very distressed. What is it distress about? Just accept. Be balanced about. That is what Maharishi Patanjali is saying. Dependence on external things should be not. Dependence on our inner strength should be there. That is what is raga.
So, should we move on to the fourth one?
Yes. So it's called dvesha.
Dvesha.
Dvesha means aversion, hatred, strong dislike. I call it the bad mantra influence. For example, it can happen externally from someone else to us, and it can happen to us ourselves. How it happens from someone else to us? If someone talks about someone, the third person, and they talk to us, oh, you know this person, no, 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 no. So we create a bad mantra effect in front of, and we are influenced by the other person, and we don't actually go in depth of it, and we just start judging. Oh, strong dislike, strong dislike, strong dislike. It can be towards people, it can be towards places, it can be towards situations, again same as raga. Yeah. Right? So, and sometimes it can come internal. For example, I go into a restaurant and I don't like this okra. Now I have created a strong dislike against okra in my life. Maybe that restaurant was unable to was unable to prepare a good okra. Yeah. But I created a strong dislike. Or bad mantra influence can come else also. Like for example, we are sitting on a table, five people are sitting, and the first one trying it, oh, lack of salt. And all the other will feel lack of salt because that's the bad mantra influence. So actually, dvesha is not creating strong dislike. Because, like, for example, my partner likes something and I don't like that much. But I will say to my partner, I dislike it. A strong dislike. When I create a strong dislike, then I will never be open to like it because it will already go into my asmita, ego, that I don't like it. I don't like this way. It becomes my way or highway. Either my way or highway. I will not do it this way. Why not? Try to accept that. Try to understand that. Until and unless you have kept an understanding of it, then you can say, okay, I dislike it. But again, Patanjali is saying, try to understand. Adhyayan, research, reflect, inquire.
So, how would that create suffering?
Strong dislike.
Yeah.
Okay. The same partner, example. My partner likes something, I don't like something. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, my partner say, let's do that. She likes it, but I'm not fully open to it, right?
Yeah.
So I say, no, I have created a strong dislike against it. I don't do that. But she still goes on to do that. When she goes on to do that, I feel I suffer. I suffer. I'm like, oh, she's doing it. I'm not doing it. But my ego will never let me say that I wanted to do it. Because it triggers the ego. I
Yes.
dislike it. I have made my decision, but she still continues. So that is what is aversion, strong dislike to
Yeah.
something, and that leads us to sorrow and suffering. Klesha, one of the causes.
Yes.
Yes.
And shall we talk about the last one?
Yes. Abhinivesh.
English.
Abhinivesh.
Okay.
Abhinivesh is about fear.
Mm.
Many people term it as just fear of death, but actually it is fear of anything. Fear of losing control over your partner, over your children, fear of aging, fear of losing strength, fear of losing a position again in a corporate world, whatsoever. All of this is abhinivesh. And this produces more anxiety,
Yeah.
more stress. So it is a direct root of suffering or sorrow. It is one of the kleshas, like very important. And what it does, it actually blocks the spiritual freedom.
Mm.
We can't be spiritually free because we are having fear of everything. So
Yeah.
to release this fear is very important. This is classified as one of the main root causes because every day we are thinking that.
Yeah.
Fear of losing the job, fear of losing. Patanjali says just accept everything, santosha, contentment with everything.
Yeah.
So the counter for abhinivesh is santosha. Have contentment with everything, whatever is happening in the life. It's a stream, it is flowing, you flow with it. Once you start fearing about the next, fearing about the future, and fear is fearing about losing control over others. This is a big cause of suffering,
Yeah.
and that is what abhinivesh is. Yeah. Yeah.
Doesn't fear also come a lot from I guess from ignorance, but from that you think you can control things?
Exactly.
In a way.
And that is asmita, my way or highway.
Yeah.
That is reflecting to all of them. Asmita, raga,
Yeah.
dvesha, avidya, all of it is reflected by it. It's again coming back. I am the consciousness. I am the pure consciousness. Yes.
Right.
Yes. But all these panchakleshas are actually like root causes to disturb the mind.
Yes.
For example, I will again go to nada, vibration and sound.
Yeah.
When we are creating negative vibrations, we will disturb the mind. All the mind will be in negative vibrations. When we create the positive vibrations, and through the knowledge of these five causes of suffering, it is also vidya. Knowledge. Knowledge of five causes of suffering can actually help us counter that very easily. So, this knowledge is very important to understand about ourselves and about the society and about our sufferings. So, let it not disturb the mind, right? But how to implement it into our life? First is santosha, acceptance. Second is tapas, which means austerity, discipline, building routine. Then is Swadhyaya, self inquiry, self research. And then is Ishwar Pranidhana, devotion to the consciousness. I devote and accept whatever is happening. I surrender to it, samarpan to it, and I just live with every situation of the life. Instead of letting it fear me, I just live with it. And then Abhyasa, commitment to the practice of Ashtanga Yoga, 8 limbs of yoga, that will lead us towards Viveka. Viveka is the discriminative wisdom, right? Yeah. Not just the wisdom, discriminative wisdom to understand the duality of life. And that is said to lead to Kevalya, which is oneness, or in other words, liberation. So it's not that everyone will be liberated. No, 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 no. Like we have to do all these steps for that. But the most important part of this is understanding the sorrows, at least will help in our day-to-day life. Yeah. Right? That's how I take it. Like I'm not reading, no, 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 doing all these practices, everything for a liberation. Then I would be attached to that. For
Yeah.
me, it is just the practice to live everyday life peacefully and happily.
Mm.
And Panchaklesha really helps me a lot. Does it help you?
Yeah, for sure. For
Hmm.
sure. Yes. Thank you again for listening to the podcast and hoping to see you next time.
See you next time. Hari Om Tat Sat. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Om Om.